Hey villains, this is Jayde Skye. You're listening to the Villains Parking Podcast. This episode is about the Smart Moms travel agency and how they fired slash terminated over 70 of their agents overnight with no explanation. This episode is going to dive into the entire backstory of the agency, and at the very end, you're going to actually hear from the owner herself, finally get an explanation as to what happened. So, this is going to be the part where I tell you go get your snacks, go get your Mickey bars, go get your pretzels, go get your churros, your candy apples, your popcorn, and get comfortable because we're diving right in. And I have all of the Smart Moms tea. I have been talking to former agents, current agents, friends, people that have worked with the owner. I have been talking to everyone, and everyone has been sending me the inside scoop, the tea, the drama, the screenshots. I have it all. And I'm going to let you hear directly from the owner herself because the internet has been buzzing with the fact that all of these agents have just been dumped overnight, but no one knows why. Well, I have that answer for you. So get comfortable and we're going to get going. If you're not in our Villains Parking Facebook group, you're going to want to go over there and join the group because we have all of the screenshots, the videos, all of the fun content, and you can join in the conversation and you can just get involved or you can just watch, and it's a lot of fun. This one is a lot of fun. So, if you don't know what Smart Mom's travel agency is, you probably would recognize the Smart Moms Planning Disney Facebook groups. I say groups because while they have branded themselves as Smart Moms Planning Disney, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of Facebook groups, just Smart Moms planning Magic Kingdom, Smart Moms planning Epcot, Smart Moms planning the Grand Floridian, Smart Moms planning the Polynesian Resort, Smart Moms planning toddlers, Smart Moms planning teenagers. If you sneeze and a smart mom hears it, there will be a Facebook group called Smart Moms Sneezing at Disney. And I'm not joking. Just if it's fun, just go into your pull up your phone and just type in smart moms into your Facebook search and you will see that I'm joking, but I'm not really joking because there's a group for literally anything. And I will get into why. But first, if you're not familiar with the agency, it is basically a travel agency that focuses on Disney and some of the other theme parks, but mostly Disney is the bread and butter of the company. So I've had the pleasure of meeting many of the agents that have worked with this agency currently or in the past. And before I really get going, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has sent me everything that I'm going to be using in the podcast. And thank you for, having the confidence in me to trust me with not only sending me the material, but, of course, trusting that I will keep you anonymous, which I will. Every single one of my sources will remain anonymous. I will not tell anyone who you are. And I do appreciate all of you. I appreciate that you're trusting me to be your voice because I am not a travel agent. I have never been a travel agent. I do not own a travel agency, and I'm not involved in this industry whatsoever. I do not work for Disney or a theme park, and I am just a neutral party that is aware of what's going on, and I can present everything that is going on. So thank you for sending me everything. I know I'm still Even now, I'm still getting things coming in, so keep them coming. I will do a follow-up. You have a voice and you will be heard. Now, for anyone that has no idea what I'm talking about, you obviously are not part of the Disney community or in any Disney group at all because this has been everywhere. So, who are the smart moms? Well, at least 70 of them don't exist anymore because they were fired, but then they were told they were terminated. Um, Language was used both ways. We're not really sure. Like I said, there haven't been any answers given. So at this point, even if you don't know what I'm talking about, you know as much as we do, right? Because we haven't been told anything. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Smart Moms Travel Agency is owned by a mom named Laurelyn Johnson. She goes by LJ. Her branding is all over her company, it's all over social media. Every single one of her groups has a little picture of her. Hi, I'm LJ, whatever her spiel is. And she is the face of the brand. So, who is she? Well, that's a good question. Obviously, she's the owner of this travel agency, but let's talk about who she is before. So, she's a mom from Kentucky, okay? And she originally kind of got some attention having Facebook groups, and she was working for a company called 31 Bags. If you haven't heard of that, they are a multi-level marketing company. Some people prefer the term direct sales. Those are the people that, you haven't heard from since high school that message you, "Hey girl, hey hon, what's up? You want to buy this bag? I love this product." You know, those companies, right? We've all dealt with them, whatever they are. The one she was working with is 31 Bags. So she has this Facebook group and lots of members in this Facebook group. I'm not going to share the name of the group, but she had this large Facebook group, I was told, with many people that were interested in Disney. So she finds out that the company 31 Bags is running a promotion for their sales agents, which she, at the time, her and her mom are uh, sales representatives, sales agents. They're the people that sell you the stuff that you don't want. So her and her mom are working for 31 Bags, and there's a promotion where they're giving away Disney gift cards, like $500 gift cards, $1,000 gift cards, whatever it was. And in order to earn the gift cards, you had to sign up X number of people on your team, create your downline. That's a typical pyramid. There's an upline and a downline. And after you signed up so many people, you would get a gift card and they would get a gift card. So, what she was doing was she was using her Facebook group to get everyone to sign up under her, but then she was creating these teams. So, you think of like a pyramid, like, well, she's not at the very top because she doesn't own the company, but she's high up there. And then she's got all these people in this Facebook group, and she's enticing them with these Disney gift cards. So that's how she got them to do this. So they're signing up because when they sign up, there's usually a small buy-in fee for these MLM companies, and they buy in with the promise of a gift card. And then, of course, they get others to sign up and, so and so forth. So she's doing this, but what she's doing is she's not just like building the MLM teams out. She's strategically putting just enough people under each other to earn the gift cards. It's, I guess, smart. I guess she is a smart mom, but she's still, like scamming the system. So a smart scam, but still nonetheless a scam. So she pulls this off. Well, 31 bags ends up paying out all these gift cards, and apparently they were not happy with the way this was being done. And I'm told that her and her mom were fired from the company. And as a result, it affected the entire downline. So all of these people that signed up and to work underneath her and the teams that she put together were all impacted. Now, this was told to me, so I don't know if every single person was only doing it for the gift cards, but regardless, they joined this company to be direct sales reps and to earn gift cards. And when she was let go, it affected all of them. But that's okay. She just doesn't talk about it anymore. And from what I'm told, no one else better bring it up either. But I am, because it's important. It's part of the story. So that happened. Okay. And at that time, she started amassing these Facebook groups with all of these Disney people, very focused on Disney. And she wasn't a travel agent. To my knowledge, she's never been a travel agent. She owns the agency now. But before, she had this group and decided that she was going to have, um, she called them something special, like a title, they were the recommended travel agent. So she is not a travel agent herself and does not own a travel agency at this time. So this is before she started her company. So she's got just has a Facebook group, but she saw that she had an opportunity to make some money, and she found travel agents that were with licensed agencies, and they were able to sell travel. And rather than her putting in the work and becoming a travel agent and working with them, she realized that she could come up with a way to make money off of their work. And she did this successfully by enticing them with leads. So she has the Facebook group. So she's offering them to be the recommended travel agents. That's the title. They're her recommended travel agents. And in exchange for being a recommended travel agent, she is going to take a percentage of their commission. Now, I'm not going to tell you the laws and the rules and the regulations of travel agencies. You can look those up yourself. Um, but she was, the way I'm told, she was not just selling leads. She was not just doing lead generation. She was um, managing the leads. She was giving them to the recommended agents and then taking a percentage of their commission. The way it works is only a licensed travel agency can get paid a commission. She was requiring the travel agent, when they got paid out, to give her a payment back as a portion of their commission. So that's what happened. I'm told that's how these agents got started with her. So at that time, she was taking 50% of their total commission. And, you know, they were happy to pay it because, it was, I guess, l- good lead generation. They were in these Facebook groups. They didn't have competition. She wasn't a travel agent, so she's just feeding them all to these recommended agents. And there was, from what they've told me, their own words, there was enough to go around. So they were all staying busy. And even though they were paying her 50% of their commission, they were still making enough money. So it was working. So that's where that started. And in exchange, she she wanted to keep control over the leads. So just say, you know, Mary is in the Facebook group and Mary wants to go to Disney World. So Mary says, I want to go on this trip. Well, Mary is sent over to recommended agent. Recommended agent does all the work, plans Mary's trip, runs it through the travel agents, the recommended agent's own agency. The recommended agent has to pay all their own agency fees, whatever their agency charges, as a commission split, and then has to share that commission with LJ, the at this time just the Facebook group creator, in exchange for a lead. Now, that's one way of doing lead generation. I'm not going to get into the legality of the, I guess, kickback or, split share with somebody that's unlicensed, but let's just for argument's sake say that's lead generation. The problem is that when the travel agents would book Mary's trip to Disney World, LJ thought that Mary was hers forever. So if next year Mary says, "Ooh, we had a great time, you did such a good job, we'd love to come back again." Well, LJ wanted another 50% of that subsequent trip because she thought that Mary belonged to her. So any any dollar amounts, any sales that were generated from somebody in her group that was sent as a lead, whether it was one time or 500 repeat times, she wanted the half of the sale. And then they were still not complaining about it. These agents, these recommended agents were still doing it. They were still doing this. And they were doing it with a smile on their face. But that wasn't enough. So she tried to pit them against each other. She wanted them to be at odds with each other. There's a lot of talk about building women up, and, you know, that's great. But she was trying to pit them against each other because I guess she thought competition would increase sales, which increases commission, which increases money in her pocket. But that didn't work. You see, these travel agents, they were working together behind the scenes. They were talking to each other. They were building each other up. They were supporting each other. They were sharing advice. They were sharing information. They were helping each other get deals done and book trips and plan vacations and make people happy. So at this point, she has about a handful of recommended agents, you know, plenty of um, money being made, plenty of, you know, enough to generate income. But that was not enough. Like anybody else. It's just never enough. So they were telling me about these things that they were asked to do. They were asked to, of course, we talked about the Facebook groups. They're asked to run these Facebook groups. It's not as easy as just setting up a group. You have to create content. You have to engage the people in the group. You have to monitor the group and moderate the group. And these recommended agents were doing all of this. They were creating this brand for her and they were putting in the work and they were doing it because they were getting the leads and they were making the sales. So it started off as mutually beneficial, but there were a lot of things that they were being asked to do that they said were unethical, such as kickbacks or onboard credit. And anytime a client would be upset about something, you know, they were told to just give them swag, give them any kind of promotional smart mom swag, because they were told the more they that you give them, the more they'll book with you. And at this point, the agents started to ask questions. And they were guided to be careful by their actual licensed agents. So this went on for a few years, actually. It went on for about 2 years. And from what I was told, they were, they were happy with what they were doing. They were happy working together. But then they said that the undertones of the leadership changed, meaning LJ. She started getting very religious. She started using religion to keep people in control and get things done the way she wanted them done. And I was told that anytime somebody questioned something or, wasn't comfortable doing something, or anytime something was mismanaged or, a mistake was made or just something that wasn't done correctly, it was always, you know, God talks to me. And uh, you know, just lots of religion and I've talked to God and God wants me to do this and God told me to do that, and going as far as telling these agents that her husband is a prophet and God speaks directly through him. So basically everything that's happening and everything she's telling them to do is coming from God. So they told me that, that made them uncomfortable. And, there was just a lot of religious and political and even overtly sexual things that were told to them and discussed that were just uncomfortable and unprofessional. So that's where that started. And then they said that along the way, as she added more recommended agents, now she went from like a handful to like double the amount. They said that she was constantly threatening to remove their clients. And, at this time, she's not a travel agent. She's not a travel agent. She doesn't own an agency. They're not working for her. They're working for their own agencies. Um, and she's trying to remove their clients if they don't do what she wants, but she doesn't have any authority to do that. So at that point she created her own agency. So this is now in 2019. So she does eventually create her own agency, which becomes Smart Mom's Travel Agency, and that happened in 2019. So after years of doing it without the agency, now she created her own agency. And she tells her recommended agents. She offered them a position of a team lead. So she set this travel agency up from the beginning like a multi-level marketing company. And the reason she did that is because she has a background in multi-level marketing companies. So from there, people that were close in the creation of this company and people that worked from the beginning, they, they saw the agents being hired. They saw the people coming into the company. They saw everything being set up like a multi-level marketing company. And I was told that the leads were not the leads, but the agents. So not only are they getting customers and clients of just regular people trying to book travel, but they're also trying to build up this company. And it's like any pyramid, the more people you sign up, the more money and commissions you can make in a downline. So it's this never ending cycle. So there were advertisements that were being run looking to recruit new agents because it's like a Ponzi scheme. You gotta keep bringing in new ones to feed up the line. So the ads were very targeted, specifically women, moms in the Midwest that fit a very specific demographic. Now, if you go to their website, if you go to smartmomstravel.com and you click on the About Us section and you look at the Smart Mom of the Month, very proud of that. If you scroll down and you look at that page, you can see very visually, you can see the demographic. Just scroll the page. There are so many pictures and they're all there. And I don't know if they're still there because, again, so many of them were terminated. But you can see what I'm talking about. Just scroll the page. Just scroll, and I'll put all these screenshots. You'll be able to see all of this. But just scroll the page, and you'll get the idea. So this was done intentionally. This was done on purpose. She was looking for a specific type of person that she could put into her system and get the results she was looking for. So this agency started, and a standard split with Disney. Disney pays on average, most of the time, 10% of all the trips booked. So I'm going to try not to say this in too many like business technical terms, but for every let's just say, for every $1,000 that you're booking, Disney pays $100 to the travel agent. They do not charge the client or the customer, but Disney pays this out. That's their, um, you know, commission. Thank you for, sending your clients and booking this trip. Here's your pay. So 10%. And that I asked and confirmed this is pretty standard across, all vendors. Some vendors will do 11%, but 10% is standard. So Disney's paying 10%. And a regular, if you go and work in a travel agency, a lot of agencies will pay their agents 70% of their commission. Okay. So of that 10% that Disney's paying, most agencies will pay the agent 70% of that 10. So you're getting 7%, right? And then as you work there longer and you need less help and you need less guidance and less support because you know what you're doing, then you start to make more of the commission because you need less hand holding. So then you can make up to about 80%. And that's, I've asked multiple people and that's pretty typical. So anywhere between 60 to 80% is what you can expect to make as a travel agent at any travel agency, anywhere, except for smart moms. If you work for smart moms, you will never, ever make 50%. So that's that's what caught my eye. When this first started, I'm a numbers person. So when this first started, I saw Smart Moms fires all their top people. And again, she said fired and she said terminated. So they are 1099 contractors, but they are, look, there's an argument to be made about misclassification. Okay. There's an argument to be made. It's not up to me to decide what it is, but I'm just going to say there is an argument to be made about misclassification because while they are 1099s, they are required to follow messaging apps. They are required to manage leads. They are required to manage these Facebook groups 24/7 when people are, not only joining, but again, moderating. So they have to respond to comments and there are all of these requirements. But let's just get into the numbers. So when I saw the numbers, the commission split, my little math brain, actually my big math brain is like, there's no way that's right. That was the first thought. There's no way that's right. Because in the structure, the way it's set up, you will never make 50% of your commission ever. So Disney's paying 10%. And the way she has it set up, you will never make 5%. You have to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of travel before you can get over 4%. But you'll never get to the 5. So the way she has it set up, you as a travel agent under Smart Mom's travel agency, you are paying a split. Let's just call it a split because this is a pretty easy split. So just picture this. Disney pays 10%. Break that in half. 5% of that, half of that 10% commission, just half of it goes directly to LJ. Of the other 5%, you then have your pyramid. So you have yourself as the agent, but then you also have the team lead who gets paid out. And a lot of the split is like 2%, 3%. So the agents are the ones doing all of the work and walking away with 2%. And the leader is getting 3%. And then it incrementally goes up based on the volume of sales. So the more you sell, the more you of your own commission you earn. But no matter how much you sell, you will never make 50% of your commission. And I just told you that other agencies, you can walk in the door as a brand new green agent with no experience, and they'll probably start you at like 60. So, what is the benefit of working for Smart Moms? Because you're never going to make 50%. Well, There are a lot of benefits that we are sold on. The mom empowerment, the ability to work from home, the support. Well, let's talk about that support. What is that support? So I was told that not only do you lose 50% right off the top and then share your other half of the 50%, but you also have to pay for training. And if you don't pay your team leads for training, well, you really don't do well here because they're not going to spend any time with you and they're not going to give you any leads if you're not paying. It's like very pay to play. So, yeah. Um, so she's having these agents not only make a very small commission, but they're having to pay their upline for not even lack of a better word, that is what it is. These leaders, you're the agents are paying them. So that's where we are. Um, Now let's go to the year 2022. So we were just in 2019 when the agency was created, and now we're in 2022. So about somewhere about 2.5, 3 years later or so. Oh, there was a person working for Smart Moms Travel Agency and decided this wasn't the right fit and left. And some people left with her. And that went badly. So then people were replaced, very similar to what just happened. Very similar, just not as large. So this is not the first time that this has happened, is what I'm getting at. This is a pattern. Um, so another thing that I'm told is that, you know, it's very commonplace to be cut and replaced if you aren't willing to break rules. So Disney does what's called earmarking. Smart Moms is earmarked and they're very proud of it. Outside of Disney, it doesn't really mean anything. And all it really means is that your agents or you as an agent will get more discounts. That's it. Um, and it doesn't really mean much to even the people booking the trip, but that is kind of the clout and I guess bragging power that is used. But I'm told by multiple agents that there's a constant push of breaking all the rules, such as you know, Disney likes to keep control of their branding, and mm, the agents in Smart Moms Travel are constantly told to violate guidelines for advertising, violates the rules for the use of the branding and photos for Disney. One of the things is that you're supposed to use when you advertise for Disney, they only want you to use new current photos. So for example, if you went on a trip and it was during the 50th celebration and you have a picture of the castle that has the 50th on there, well, it's not there anymore. So don't use it. But that's not really enforced in the smart moms culture. And I'm told it's actually, pushed to not follow that. So one is that you cannot call yourself a Disney travel agent. Yet I'm told that is how they are represented and told to represent themselves. So That's sort of the backstory in like a very shortened version because we could be here for hours if I shared all of the details that people have shared with me. And I'm trying to keep this as short as I can while still giving you all of the information. So I- I've been told so many things, and a lot of people are really curious about LJ, the owner. She fired everyone slash terminated everyone, didn't give any reasons why, and then started to make very concerning statements about demons and you know, very very concerning things about the people that were working for her, many allegations, and saying that they were possessed by demons. And, just I get that some of them were just, her religious beliefs, but some of the agents felt concerned enough to call in a wellness check. So people are curious, they want to know more about her. So I've asked people that have worked closely with her to tell me a little bit more about her. And I was told that working for her was so traumatic that they have actually kind of created like a support group. And after working for her, many of the agents report that they have PTSD symptoms, that it was a very controlling and toxic work environment, and leaving felt like they were escaping an abusive relationship. Now, they also said that she is a very paranoid and self destructive person. And they have used words such as emotionally unstable. They said that she sleeps all of the time in her personal life. She's always exhausted. Whenever they have gone on, they take trips together. They do rewards trips and like leadership conferences and trips. And whenever they do trips together, they said that she is always sleeping. So um, they said that she has 5 children. One is a baby. And they said that her children are allegedly homeschooled, but I was told that they are very uneducated, that they uh, can barely read, and that does have a nanny that is supposed to help educate the children, um, but, is not a qualified educator. And then agents that have worked with her, both currently and formerly, have said they have expressed concerns about her social media. So she has an account. It's called Smart Moms Planning Disney, and that is the name of her account. And especially on Instagram. So on Facebook, it just looks like a regular business page, but it's linked to Instagram, and it's her main handle on Instagram, and then it's her name underneath. So it's her business slash personal account. And that was one of the things that they were very uncomfortable with, is that she mixed the business and her personal life. And I was told that she would post very concerning things about her children. She would post mostly naked pictures of herself, but also um, topless pictures of her 6-year-old daughter. Um, you know, and then very overtly sexual things. They did send me a photo. I saw the photo. We can share it in the Villains Parking group. They sent me a photo And it's LJ with her husband, who is the prophet, and their children. And she wrote, now this is her business account, okay? She wrote on the caption, like it was a story, and she wrote over the story, and she wrote, all of these things have been inside of me. And then she points to the Statue of Liberty behind her and says, and I've been inside of her. And I get why maybe some people would think it's funny, but I feel like maybe that's something that you post on your personal account. And the agents were saying, they were saying, like, this is just one example, but she does this all of the time. And then from there, they started telling me stories. So that was just a photo, like that's just social media. Maybe it's just a joke, right? But then they were telling me stories about I don't know if they call them retreats or rewards trips, but they all go on these Disney trips together. And I've seen videos. It's they rent out these massive um rooms, these conference rooms, and she gets up on stage and she's all, you know, are she has words for them. I can't even think of their title. The core four. She's like, yeah, the core four. Anyway, so they go on these trips and it's like an award ceremony slash it's just like a pyramid scheme. You get everybody all riled up, Anyway, so while they're on these trips where they're supposed to be pumping everyone up and pumping up the numbers and, congratulating everyone on all of their success, they actually do that. They do who has sold the most, who's the top performer. So it's very MLM. But in addition to that, while all of this is going on, her family is there with her. And she's telling these women, this is like a direct quote. They told me, they're like, she says that the way she keeps her husband happy is by using all holes. Yeah. Now, at first, I was like, all her holes or all his holes? Or does she actually mean all of the holes? Because maybe you shouldn't think about that too much, but I did. It's how my brain works. I think about everything, even though I don't want to. So, yeah, I was told that she makes very, very overtly sexual comments, very personal, like telling people very personal things that make them feel very uncomfortable. Now, here they are. Imagine you're on a rewards trip because you're being rewarded for all of the money that you've made someone, and you're there with your in company, like this is your job, and your boss who constantly preaches to you about what God has told her is telling you that she keeps her husband happy by using all of her holes, or actually all of the holes, all holes. Actually, that was the quote. She keeps her husband happy by using all holes. Again, I don't know, all her holes, his holes, all their holes. Who knows? Holes in the agent's pockets. Sorry, guys, that was a bad joke, but funny anyway. Um, Yeah. So those are some of the things I have loved talking. I've actually gotten on the phone with so many people and talked and like gotten voice messages and screenshots, and I just loved all of the conversations because some people are just in a state of shock. Like, I can't believe I was just fired. What's going to happen to the trips I have booked? And then some people are angry and they're like, people need to know about this. And then some people are just like, yeah, saw that coming. And then some people are like, okay, this is totally unhinged. And by the way, this is what happened when we went on this trip. And, you know, there's actually a trip that just happened and in Hawaii. that she was supposed to pay for because it's their rewards trip, but didn't. And we have some people that had to pay for the taxes and their food. And Hawaii's not cheap. You can't just walk down the street and go to Taco Bell. You have to buy food in Hawaii at their and imagine like again, this is like your reward. So you're thinking like, you did a great job and you're getting to go on this amazing trip that's paid for, only it's not. So maybe there needs to be a group, smart moms stuck in Hawaii needing to buy food because that's what actually happened to these people. So yeah, I was told that she didn't even show up to that Hawaii trip, and some of the agents couldn't even check in, and they started doing like a collection, and they started pooling, requesting like Venmo or whatever money to get their stuff paid for. So that's like really terrible. Um, and yeah, she at the time was just dark on social media and not giving anybody any answers. And this is a person that's making doing about 3 to 5 million in sales per month. Let's just sit with that for a minute. 3 to 5 million in sales per month. Now, remember that is in sales. So 10% of that is commission, 5% of that goes directly to her. And then the other 5% of that, 10%, is split up between the people actually doing the work. So I started asking, like, well, what does she do? And everyone kind of laughed and said, she delegates and she sleeps. I'm like, okay. So she, yeah. So anyway, um, when this happened the last time, she never paid any of those agents. So when this happened in like 2022, when the agents were replaced, she never paid them. So all of these 70 agents that were just fired slash terminated are waiting to find out if they're actually going to be paid because they were expecting payments for work that they've done. And they were just told they're not going to get paid. So first she said they were going to get paid, and now they found out they're not going to get paid. So really it really makes you wonder, why did this happen? Why did it happen and what is the motive? People have speculated, people have shared their thoughts with me. And one of the thoughts is that LJ is currently building a castle in Orlando. It is a home. It's not a castle, it's a home. And it is a luxury builder out of Lake Mary that is building this custom built home. It's a custom builder, and they are building this. It, she calls it a castle. It does have like a rounded front, so I guess in stone. So I guess it looks like a castle, but it's a custom home. And their speculation is that she has a construction loan that needs to be paid. And if you terminate all of your people at the top of your pyramid, well, that money just funnels up. So if you don't have to pay it, if you eliminate, she's at the top. So everybody's her downline. If you eliminate the middle people, which would be her top agents, you can take their part of the split. So she's already getting 5% of the commission. But if she cuts out the people in the top, she can take their, 3% or so on each transaction. So that's some speculation. They think that she is living beyond her means and is using this as a way to take care of whatever financial bind she's got herself into. I haven't seen her financials. I don't know her, so I don't know what her motive is, but that one makes sense. So that is something that has been brought up to me by multiple people. They always talk about the castle. She's building a castle. I was picturing like an actual castle with a moat and something cool, but it's just a regular home in Orlando. But apparently, she already has a few homes in the Orlando area. So I don't know. So I find it interesting to talk about these things, but I find it more interesting to hear from her. So, you know, I just think that when people ask who is LJ, I think we should let her speak for herself. So I believe in letting her speak for herself. So I am going to let everybody out there hear who is LJ. I'm the boss. I'm the CEO. I'm the boss. I'm the CEO. That will never not be funny to me. Will always be funny to me. So that is LJ telling everyone that she is the boss. She is the CEO. Um, yeah. So I have I have some clips here of different things that she has said along the way. So when the question was brought up about payroll, I found it interesting how she answered that. So I'm just going to let you hear her thoughts and her answers for payroll. I went and pulled payroll from, I had Scarlett make ADP do a bunch of extra work for us to see what happened there. They gave me the reports without any kind of issue. Everybody looks like they've been paid properly. If I have counterfeit reports, then that's back to the live sheet steal issues that were going on with my leadership team. But I feel like this is the best I can do is pull these reports. The money left my account the way that it was supposed to. It looks like it went into your accounts the way that it was supposed to. I went and pulled payroll from. Okay, so that is LJ saying that she contacted ADP, and ADP is for those of you that don't know, it is a payroll company. So you, as a company, submit your timesheets to ADP, or if you're contractors, you submit your invoices to ADP, and then they process payroll, and they are the ones that are responsible for generating, whether it's your pay stub or your paycheck, and then they do like your direct deposit, and then they create all of your tax forms at the end of the year. So anyway, ADP is a payroll company. So she has outsourced this to an actual legit company. So she contacts ADP, according to her, she contacts ADP and she makes them run these reports. And she says that it looks like everyone got paid. She sees the money leaving her account and it looks like it went to everyone's accounts. But she conveniently says gives herself this stipulation of unless I got a counterfeit report. Now, I know she's been accusing people of lying, cheating, stealing. That is her slogan, lying, cheating, stealing. Is she accusing ADP of creating counterfeit documents? Because how in the world would she get a counterfeit payroll document, payroll report from ADP. The only way she's going to get bad information from ADP is if she gave them bad information. I I don't know what she's trying to say, but it was confusing to me, trying to understand why she thought she would have counterfeit payroll documents. It doesn't really make sense to me, but that is what she said about payments. But we still don't have any answers as to why this happened. So let's hear what LJ has to say about why this happened.
Long story short, at the State of the Union, you guys heard me say that Ashley had been asked to step down from her position. I told you very little about that. I told you it was a lie, cheat, steal issue. I also knew at that time that Casey was involved with that. And I had also already asked her to step down as well. But I hadn't worked things out with her completely. And I felt like I didn't really want to announce it at that time. Time went on, and I learned that this situation was like much deeper and was happening with all of my leadership and with the liaisons as well. Um, I don't feel like I need to get into it, but it's a lie, cheat, steal issue throughout the entire leadership of the business.
Okay, so she's basically saying that all of her leadership is lying, cheating, and stealing, and she's not going to really get into it, but everybody's lying, cheating, and stealing. And that's the only information that anyone was given. So from there, it just kind of was supposed to, in her mind, like fizzle out. But then there were posts made by people that were concerned about their vacations, rightfully so, concerned about whether or not they were going to get paid, the agents. Agents were concerned about not being able to access their clients, rightfully so. There were so many people just confused. I mean, some people had no idea it was coming. They just woke up, they were locked out of everything. Just blanket everybody's, terminated was shocking. So there were a lot of reactions. And she thought that she could just keep it quiet by telling people, don't engage with them, don't talk to them. But that didn't work because people talk to each other. And a lot of her agents that have worked with her told me that her biggest mistake was thinking that people would just only listen to her and like not talk to each other. So I do have her full update on where she plans to take the business and all of that. But before I play that, I also have a few other clips, and I'm going to just play a couple of them first because I think they're fun and I feel like they need to be part of this.
I do know for sure that these team leaders have to go. And so that's what we're doing.
So, as everything is falling apart, people are asking for answers, they're reaching out to her, they're messaging in their group chats, and all they're getting is leadership had to go. That's all I know. Like, what do you mean that's all you know? You're the one that did it. This is your company. How is that all you know? If you don't know why something happened, then who does know? Because you're the one that's supposed to know, and these people are coming to you to ask you what happened, and you're saying, "I don't know. I just know that everybody had to go." Like, are we serious? So for about a week and a half or 2 weeks, no one had a single answer. They didn't know if they were going to get paid. They didn't know if they were able to book their trips. People were posting on like just everywhere saying, I have a trip booked with Smart Moms and my trip got canceled. Their trips were getting canceled because, like, the way it works is you book through a travel agent and payments are made on your package, right? And your trip is not really confirmed until your last payment is made. Well, all the agents were fired. People's trips were getting canceled. People didn't know they couldn't reach their agent anymore. People were panicking, like customers were panicking. And the agents had no answers because the owner of the company is saying, I don't know. I don't know. They just had to go. I don't want to get into it. They just had to go. So for like 2 weeks, no one knew what was going on. And then they finally got something. And I'm going to share that with you. And I'm just going to play the whole thing out and you can hear it directly from the source as everyone deserves to hear it.
Hey guys, it's been a crazy ride, to say the least. I can't believe this kind of thing like happens in the world. I'm like, I feel like I'm sheltered. I'm like, what goes on? Like, so I was gonna wait until the State of the Union to explain some of this, but I think that this message needs to get out there. So what had happened was the reason that you're seeing a mass terminations and resignations is that this problem, like I had terminated Ashley from her role as executive vice president on our last State of the Union. I shared that information. You guys didn't know that Casey was also involved with that, but I was still in talks with her and I didn't know what was going to actually happen. And I didn't end up announcing that I had asked her to step down as well. Um, so as time went on, I saw that all of my leadership was involved in the lie, cheat, steal issues that were going on. There's issues with payroll, and there's issues with the splits not being set up correctly inside of payroll. And this was like authorized from various levels of leadership. So basically, if you were supposed to earn 5% and the agency was supposed to earn the other 5%, you're paid, like, if you were corrupted, you may have been set up to earn all of it. There were other things happening, but that is one of the most widespread situations that was taking place. So this was happening on a large scale, and the leadership was basically allowing it, like being like, we can make that decision without having any discussion with the owner of the company. And it was literally just about like taking from me. So when I started to see, like, I'd seen, issues with Ashley, with Casey, I started to dig in further and I started to see that there's hardly anybody untouched by this issue. And so my reaction was, everybody who's getting paid incorrectly needs to leave the agency, period. Like, I didn't know the discussions that had been had. I didn't know how things happened. And I just terminated all of the liaisons. I removed from their liaison position. And then I terminated all of the team leaders because they were all affected by it. Most of them had resigned already when they got wind of what was going on. I didn't dig into those resignations. I simply blanket terminated everybody that I knew was accepted this. Even if somebody came to you and said, like, we can set you up on this pay situation that's stealing from somebody else, do you want to do it? Like, get thee behind me, Satan. No, right? But those people did say yes, and so I terminated everyone that I felt like needed it at that time. chaos has ensued because there's nothing more predictable than when you are called out about your bad behavior, that you're not going to just be like, yes, this is my bad behavior, let me change it. No, you're going to start casting blame. You're going to start trying to say, look over there, let me call the police on you. Like, those types of things are now going to start happening. You saw tons of bad behavior happening in social media, releasing our like lists to other agencies, those agencies trying to scalp anybody that's left here. And I'm just like, I don't even know what's going to happen. Like, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to let God fight my battles, which is what I do. I have been in close contact with him. The terminations were something that he and I discussed at length before I moved forward with them. And I have been like, I can't get involved with how big or small this company is, how much or little money we're going to make in the future. I can't even let myself care about those things. I have to figure out like what's best for like the people that are closest to me. And I've been able through the last few weeks to work through a lot of this with various people in different like closenesses with me. And I think that I have come to a place where there's a lot of them saying like, I did do bad things, but I want to continue in this relationship in a better way. And I feel like it's very like it would be in keeping with like the character of God, which is what I strive to mirror, to let those people have a second chance. And so I want to do that. The people that I've worked with and have talked to directly, like, I am going to bring those people back on. We're going to continue as best we can. You guys don't need to know who did what. This person did that. This person said this. You probably know more of that than I do already, because I know how to protect my heart, and I did not go on social media to listen to them like say mean things to me, which is one of the other reasons that I can forgive them so easily, is that like I didn't see, the tearing down the way that maybe you did see. I can just be like, can we just move forward in good faith and like, let's start over from here. The reason that I am coming to you guys at this point saying this inside the broadcast is that you're going to see people coming back on board. You're going to see people changing their opinions on social media. You're going to see people like, don't give anybody a hard time. Like, let's let them make a good decision for their life. Let's not backbite each other. Let's not try to pull each other one direction or the other. Let everybody make their own decisions with their logical mind, and don't be mired in this emotion. That is what got us into this bad place in the first place. The second thing is, if I didn't talk to you face to face, one to one, I didn't talk to anybody face to face. If I didn't talk to you, I want to put a call out there and an invitation to like rethink your life right now. Like, what are you doing? Can you come back? Can you turn around and can you come to the light? I can forgive you guys. Like, I want you guys to, like, I firmly believe that this business is something that is powerful in your life to move you into a place of freedom. And that is what is important to me. And if you are going to walk away into oppression in somewhere else, you have to earn a living. So are you going to steal that money somewhere else? Are you going to work for it somewhere else? Are you going to sell yourself somewhere else? Like, what is going to happen? You have to earn a living. So I believe that this is a place where you can earn a living in freedom and feel good about what you do, and that you can move forward into happiness. And that is what I would love to see for you. So I want to put the call out there that if you did bad things, whether or not I know about them, but you want to do good things in the future, I can move forward in good faith. I don't even probably know what you did, or that you were involved on any, like, sometimes I see resignation and I'm like, I didn't even know that was unnecessary. I didn't even know you were involved. But come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Like, we don't need applications. We can just move forward. I can maybe have my staff send out an email saying like these resignations, or what, like we do need to have something in writing that says like, you work for the company again, your termination or resignation notice has been repealed, or whatever it would be. We do need that at some point, but like you can just come and like from join the company, please. We have a contract, we have everything on file. Please come back, work in your business if you want to. And then as time goes on, we're going to get a roll call of who needs. There's people that are not going to come back, and those people's terminations and resignations need to stand. But we're going to get a roll call of like, you need a document from the agency that says you work for us. So we will get that done for you over time. No need for us to even worry about that right now. That is like a legal situation for if we would need, if we would get into something again later on down the road. But like, we don't need that. So if you're comfortable working without that, dive in. If you're not comfortable, if you want something that now says that your resignation or your termination isn't valid, let me get back to you on what we should do there. But for me, I don't think you need it. Jump back in. Let's do it. We'll do a roll call down the road and we'll get documents out that say like, hey, we are aware that you resigned, but then you asked us to not resign you and we honored that. So that's what'll happen. Similar, if we terminated you, we can do a document that says like, hey, like we sent you a termination notice this day, disregard that. We're good. Let's continue in cahoots. All right, that's all. Come back. Love you guys. I want good things for you. I want good things for the business. I don't want you stealing from me, but I can forgive it. And that I don't think that that's like a high standard that I have set. Is like, can we work within like the contracts that we have and not try to go, if you were supposed to do a split with me, then I feel like you should be doing a split with me. Like that's what I feel like should be happening. So, all right, love you guys, praying for you constantly. And I would really honestly just beg you to get your journal out, get with God, and to see if your emotional health is going to keep you from what could be one of the best things in your life. So please do that.
Well, there you have it. There's LJ begging everyone that she just fired slash terminated to come back and see the light and come back and give her money again. I mean, join the company. So, as you can see, this is a pattern. Things don't go well, terminate people, replace them, keep the machine oiled, keep things moving. As long as the money's rolling in, you know, terminate people, take their share. Although this time I feel like it backfired, right? I feel like everybody's gone. So, and everybody's demanding money. So if everybody's gone, it's like a Ponzi scheme. You need new people. You need new money coming in. And if there's no new money coming in, then there's no more money to get out. I feel like that's where we are with this. They always say like follow the money. Well, there's no more money. So there's nowhere to follow. So I think that's where we are. Now, whether you are a former agent, current agent, if you're just someone listening and you're thinking about becoming an agent, please put more thought into this. This is not the first time. This is not even the second time. This will not be the last time. This People that do these things always continue to do these things. And I've I've heard from so many people, and I've also heard that the people that were at the top were, you know, part of this with her. So I don't know how involved they were. I don't know how much they benefited from this in the past when the last time people were eliminated, they kind of got paid from it. I don't know. But I will tell you, what people do with you, they will do to you. So, however you were involved in this, and however you were terminated from this, I would just think very long and very hard before you answer that plea and that beg to go return to the light, and just really think about, what position were you left in? Is that a position you want to be in again? What position were other people left in? Is that a position you would want to be left in? Because next time it will be you. And I feel like if it wasn't you last time, it is you this time. So I'm just going to leave that with everyone. And remember, the only reason you're being begged to come back is because somebody finally realized what you were doing for them. So
I think we're gonna build back better. Make smart moms great again. Make smart moms great again.
well, I'm glad this is a joke to her. Make smart moms great again. Ha ha ha. I don't think this is a joke to all of the people that have been affected by this, former agents, current agents, recently fired slash terminated agents, people with vacations that were canceled. I don't think they find this funny. What I do find funny is the fact that you have hundreds of groups with absolutely terrible advice. Um, your book, the book that's published out, I forgot to tell you guys about the book. The book that's out there that's, full of misinformation and things that will get you kicked out of Disney. Don't listen to that. I hope you think this is funny. I hope we all laugh at you. I laugh at you. Everyone in Villains Parking laughs at you. The joke I made about if somebody sneezes, a new smart moms group will pop up. That's been a joke for years. You've been a joke for years. So I'm glad you're laughing. I hope you know that everyone's laughing at you. And by the way, you know who's really laughing at you? That server that you made fun of and posted about not leaving a tip, they're laughing at you because they got a lot more money raised for them because of you, and that's funny. So, all of this is just a manifestation of your own actions. And I am just going to leave it with these final thoughts.
Boss. I'm the CEO. I'm the boss. I'm the CEO.
If you're not part of Villains Parking, come join us. We're going to be discussing all of this, and we will have the screenshots, we will have the videos, we will have the entire conversation. We can all jump in, and we'll see you there.